wanted to do something a little bit different. Not even 2 seconds in and I'm already getting messed up. So I wanted to do something a little bit differently. Normally we just talk about my monthly favorites and I'll like insert like a clip of me using the product and stuff like that. But I kind of wanted to do my monthly favorites a little bit different, and you guys let me know down below if you guys like this. But I thought we would do like my full face of makeup, and I'm going to be using all the products that I've been loving this month. You know, you guys get a little better insight. You could see how it performs and I can explain it to you versus just telling you guys. So that was my thought process behind this. So we're going to get diving into it. Lately, the past like 2 weeks or so, I've really been into the Brow Wiz more than anything. And I think it's just because it truly is like the perfect color for my brows. I've had a lot of issues with brow pencils like clumping up on me or crumbling, especially like in the areas where I need a little bit more depth. My brows have been kind of a pain in the ass for me the past couple of months. I swear, one of my brows was like higher than the other. It was just a freaking mess. I haven't really found a new concealer that I've been obsessed with. I will tell you guys though, these sponges from Luxie Beauty that we got in our BoxyCharm, they're not my favorite. And I was just so unhappy with them. Like, I've tried them a few times after. They're just so hard to work with. And I hate saying that because I really wanted them to work out for me, because that would be the first product from Luxie Beauty that I just did not like. I love Luxie Beauty brushes. They are so soft and amazing. So it just bums me out that I didn't like them. I have really been vibing with 2 eye palettes. So the first one I've been really vibing with is the Love palette by Natasha Denona. I did a review on this palette. We talked about it and did a look. I don't always dip into like the reds and the maroons in this palette, but I've really been dipping a lot into the metallics more than anything. The other palette though, that I never have done like a tutorial here on my channel, but I talked about it because I picked it up in my Ulta haul, is the X's and O's palette by Colourpop. So this is actually one palette that I've played with a lot, and I've created a lot of looks with it. And every look I've created using this palette, I was so impressed with, and I just loved it so much. We're going to dive into both of these palettes, and I'll pick out my favorites from each one. I'm going to take the shade first from the Natasha Denona palette. Just dust it all over the lid. So I'm going to use this to kind of make sure that the concealer is just set. I'm going to take this shade right here, and I'm going to pop that as my crease area. But if you have the Love palette, the other one that's kind of similar to it is Soul. I'm going to start popping it on the crease area and on the lid. There is just something about this palette. The first time I played with this palette, I couldn't believe the pigment I got from this palette. Because I have some other Colourpop palettes that they're all good. Like, don't get me wrong, Colourpop palettes are good, but just some perform a little bit better than others. And this is definitely one where I was like taken back by it. Now we're going to take a mixture of these 2 dark tone shades, and we're going to apply that in the crease and really blow it out on the outer corner. So now what I'm doing is I'm taking the shade called Commitment in the Natasha Denona palette. I'm just running it right here on the outer corner. Don't worry, it's like kind of patchy right now. It's kind of one of those shades where you have to play with it a little bit, but it does add a little bit more depth, which I like. It's a testy color for sure. And then I'm going to take a little bit of Trust and blend that out as well into it, so it's kind of going to help fade it out. So I really like Commitment for the fact that like if you pack it on, you could really get some depth. I'm just going to take my brush, and there's no additional product on this, and I'm just going to blow out those edges a little bit more. I went ahead and I applied the colors, and now we're going to move into the lid shade. So the color that I've really been enjoying from this palette is called Pure Love from the Natasha Denona palette. The other color I love from this palette is called Blind, which is that silver shade. I use that shade way too much whenever I'm like just playing around with this palette. It's like the color I dive to all the time. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to dive into the X's and O's palette, and I'm going to take this really pretty frosty shade and put that on top of the lid. So I'm going to be taking these EVIOSKIN and AURORA. These are their Refreshing Cleansing Hemp Wipes. I'm not the biggest fan of these. I find them to kind of be a little drying on my skin, but I'm going to use them today because they aren't, that's the only ones I have right now. I definitely feel like after I use these, I have to go in with like an eye cream because it definitely dries out my skin. Okay, so I'm just getting ready to apply some mascara, and I gotta tell you guys, because last month we spoke in my monthly favorites, and I talked to you guys about how I did not really care for the Maybelline Lash Lift Mascara. I can't figure out if I do or don't like it. I know last month I said I didn't like it, but I don't know if maybe because the formula has gotten a little bit clumpier, but now it's like making my lashes look amazing. Finish up with the eyes in just a little bit. We're gonna move on to the rest of the face. I have been loving a couple different primers. The very first one that I've been using a lot, and I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that my skin is just a little bit drier because of the weather and stuff, is the FARSALI Liquid Glass Radiance Serum. I was a little bit nervous about it when I first started, because I was like, oh my goodness, like it's gonna be glittery, and it just looks glittery, right? Like it just looks like it's gonna have glitter in it, and it's just not gonna be great, but it has like made my skin feel so hydrated and not like dewy at all, because it really sets into the skin really nicely. And the other one that I've been using also as well is the e.l.f. Matte Putty Primer here. I'm not sure exactly how I feel about this just yet. I really will say that I haven't seen that much of a big difference in my skin being matte or anything. I think it works okay with the pores, but it's not anything to rave about. But I can say the other product I've really been enjoying, and I spoke about this in my how I apply my foundation to cover acne and stuff, was the Urban Decay All Nighter. This is the Ultra Matte that they came out with. My skin has actually held its like oils in a little bit better, and I haven't been as oily when I apply this, and I can really see a difference when I use this versus when I don't use it. I don't think foundation is really going to be a surprise. I think I kind of already gave you guys like a sneak peek in one of my videos. It is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Dewy Foundations. So I have two shades here, but I've really strictly been going more towards the soft beige. When they sent this to me in a PR kit, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know why they sent this to me. I'm oily skin. This is definitely not going to work for me. The other Photo Focus foundation did not work for me at all. It was like a hot mess. And I just kept thinking like, oh, I feel so bad. Maybe I should return it to them because I'm not going to get any use out of it. And then I was like, man, I should just at least try it out. Like, let me just try out one. So I pulled one to try out. And I think we did it in like a first impressions, or maybe I tried it on its own. I was like floored. It's not necessarily dewy. I don't think it's as dewy as some other foundations are. It definitely gives a luminous finish to the skin. But if you set this, it will set. I like the way that my skin looks with it as the day wears on. Like, I feel like my skin definitely looks more like skin. It does settle into my fine lines sometimes if I don't set it that well. The way that my skin looks throughout the day, it is so natural and nice, and just gives a nice finish and a nice radiance. It doesn't feel sticky or anything like that. I've just been truly impressed with this foundation is what I'm trying to say. I did go ahead and set underneath my eyes already, but we're going to move into the face powder because there is a face powder that I have really been enjoying, and it is, where is it? How did I lose it? This is the Milani Conceal and Perfect powder. This was part of my drugstore haul that I did, and I actually got it on clearance. I can't get that sticker off. It is what it is. This one doesn't keep me as matte as the Urban Decay one, but it definitely sets everything. It provides a little bit of coverage, and it just looks really good. So I like it because I feel like it is a nice alternative to the Urban Decay one. It's not a dupe or anything, but it's a good, like, you know, use it when you don't want to use this powder because this one's kind of pricey. So, and then for bronzer, nothing new. I'm just going to go back in with my e.l.f. This is Forever Sun-Kissed Bronzer, but this one really isn't like what I wanted to talk about in my favorites. This month, my favorite has to be the ALAMAR Cosmetics Bronzer Brush. I spoke about this again numerous times in different videos, and ever since I got this in my BoxyCharm this month, I cannot put it down. I think I just love it so much because I feel like it really does a great job at blending everything out. Like, it really does a good job at packing on the product onto my face. I'm just going to go in and just apply a little bit of mascara on my lower lash line, and then we'll move on to the face. All right, so I have mascara on, and I know it looks like I have like a line, like I put a little bit of shadow, but I didn't. My eyeliner, my eyes, especially around the base area, are stained from a makeup look I did yesterday, and I used some bright colors, so it stained my eyes, so... And then for lips, this is the Kylie Jenner lip liner in Coconut. And I've been using this a lot here recently with like all of my liquid lipsticks and lipsticks as a all over color. Lip products for me this month weren't really like a big thing because I did a declutter, so I got rid of a lot of liquid lipsticks. But I really do like this lip liner. I don't know if I mentioned it last month. I think I mentioned the KKW. I love her lipsticks. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up my hair really quickly, come back, we'll talk about some other products that I have to speak about, some misses for me as well. And yeah, give me 2 seconds. I wanted to finish off with just a couple of things. These are mainly mitts. What are mitts? I'm not really sure what mitts are, but I wanted to finish off with some misses that just really weren't panning out for me this month. The very first one I wanted to talk about is the Ciate Everyday Vacay Powder. I actually was excited to try this one out because you guys know I talked about this other one that we tried from this brand in another Misses video. I think it was even last month. And it was just giving me a really bad white cast and stuff like that. And I still find the same thing with this. I'm just not sold on it. Like, I'm using it because I do have it part of my stash to try to see how I feel about it. But I find myself not reaching for it again. I just don't like the way it looks underneath my eyes. I feel like it almost, like the white cast that it gives, it almost even accentuates the darkness I have under my eyes. So I rarely touch it. Like, I just don't really enjoy it at all. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it on because I know I'm not going to use it. The other two things that I'm kind of sad about, which I'm still playing with because I want to use them up, but it's the Milani palettes. These are the Milani Most Wanted palettes. So I have two of them. I have this olive tone one, which looks so beautiful in the pan. And then I have this Milani, this is Partner in Crime, which is more of a neutral palette. Neither one of these palettes would work for me. They were super powdery. They wouldn't build up any color. They were just horrible palettes to work with, honestly. These darker shades just don't work well at all. And if you guys watched my video, you guys would have seen, like, I could barely build it up, and it just wasn't a good palette, you guys. So then I had the Kylie Cosmetics. This is in the shade Kylie, and it's a matte. This is a beautiful, beautiful color. But I have worn this a few times now, and I love the way that this color looks. I've tried to wear this so many times, but on me, it looks horrendous. Like, when I first apply it, it looks really pretty and, like, you know, dainty and pretty and pink. And then throughout the day, I feel like it makes my face look very, like, flat. Like, it's almost like my face is, like, seen something and just went completely white. I'm looking for something to mix it with, but I'm so bummed about it because those are, like, I really do like her formula. I think she has really great formula. And then the last product I wanted to talk about is actually a skincare product. So this is by First Aid Beauty. This is the Pure Skin Conditioning Eye Makeup Remover. And this one here, I find that it's very difficult to remove my mascara with. And I don't wear waterproof mascara. I wear regular mascara, and it's very difficult for me to take it off with. And it also kind of stings my face, which is kind of surprising because it's by First Aid Beauty. And usually everything by First Aid Beauty is designed for sensitive skin, but it really burns, like, right in this area whenever I use it. And, like, you know, when I'm removing my makeup, I use, like, cotton rounds, and then, like, I go like this to grab the excess off, and it just, like, burns. And I'm like, this is so weird. Like, it can't be. This one here just really does not like my skin. So anyways, that is my hits and misses. You guys let me know down below what you guys thought about me doing a video this way versus, like, my just talking videos. Let me know down below which one you guys like better. Either or, we can kind of play around with it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I will list everything I talked about down in the description box if you guys want to check it out. And I will see you guys on my next video. I upload Sunday through Thursday every morning at 8 a.m. and I will see you then. Bye.